Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Night West Ham. I'm your host, Zach, of the Fortune's Always Hiding podcast. And I know we don't have a lot of West Ham news to talk about. We have a lot of international news to talk about, and a lot of it is very annoying. But I'm joined today by Wally, out of the King of Prussia, as it says in its title. Which I always... No, go ahead.
So there's this guy in the chat room called Foshizi, and he started, because I'm from the town of King of Prussia in Pennsylvania, he started calling me the King of Prussia. And you know what? I kind of like the title, so I'm sticking with it, and it's good to be the king.
It is good to be with the king. I'm joined as well by John. John, welcome.
Thank you. And I can vouch for Wally's kingdom over here, as I'm only about a mile away from his house, and
Yeah,
he does run shit around here. It's true.
Yep. They worship me, and no, just kidding.
It's kind of funny. So because My Chemical Romance is coming back on tour in the U.S. for the first time since like 2013, I was one of those suckers who waited in line online and bought tickets for the Philly show. If you ever, by the way, if you ever wait in line online to buy tickets to the Wells Fargo Center, don't. The system is terrible. It kicked me out like bunches of times. I had 4 tickets ready to go, ready to be purchased, and it bumped me back out all the time until the last time. And it was all over the place. I was in the upper deck. I was in the lower deck. I was on the floor. I was in a suite. I finally got tickets, and I was in a suite.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm going to buy these tickets. Push comes to shove, I can resell them for a hell of a lot more and buy better tickets. But the girl that I'm going with, she was just like, she couldn't believe that I actually waited in line for the 80 plus minutes and bought the tickets. I'm like, I know you're not going to, but you want to go, so let's go.
Great.
So
yeah, it's a good place to see a concert.
Yeah, I've heard. I've only seen the Flyers game there when was the King Tut exhibit in Philly? 2006.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have no idea.
Was it the Wells Fargo Center?
No, it was the Wachovia Center at the time. The Spectrum was still up, by the way.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say that, but so it was the new place, though. It wasn't the old Spectrum.
Right, yeah, because there was a Philadelphia Kicks game going on at the Spectrum that night.
I remember the Kicks, yeah.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I really do miss the Spectrum. I know the arena out in Lehigh Valley is great, but at the same time, it's Lehigh Valley. It's a long drive out from Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just something that you don't like. If I'm in Philly and I'm a tourist in Philly and I want to go see something in Lehigh Valley, how do you get out to Lehigh Valley? Is there like is there a SEPTA train going out there, or is there an Amtrak?
Not anymore.
Yeah, and that's a problem that you face. You can't really take a taxi. And
I think it's the turnpike. You take the turnpike.
Yeah, and I would imagine that an Uber would be kind of expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, and that's enough. No, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I'm not even actually sure where the Lehigh Center is. So
it's somewhere in Lehigh Valley, and that's all that I know.
Yeah.
So I'm a New York Cosmos fan. I went to school at Hofstra. My senior year, the day before my last ever final at Hofstra, the Cosmos were playing in Reading, Pennsylvania. I got in my car and drove down 4+ hours. So I had to go through New Jersey and into Pennsylvania, and I think I passed Lehigh Valley. And it was weird.
Yeah.
There's this like on the highway, there's this really big bottle of beer just come straight up, and you like look at it and go, oh my God, that's a really big bottle of beer. And it's for this big beer store. So I'm just kind of like, alrighty then. Well.
Yeah, we have a Yuengling brewery, and that's somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah, Potsdam. I actually went there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I heard my daughter went there. She did the tour, I think, with her friend.
Yeah, it's a great place. Parking is a nightmare, but it's a great place. I actually got to meet Mr. Yuengling at a Hershey Bears game.
Wow.
Yeah,
there is a Mr. Yuengling. I didn't.
Yep, it's a family. It's a
Dick Yuengling.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like 5th generation, I think.
Oh, tremendous.
Yeah, so it's great that going strong. I just wish they were in all the states.
Well, you know what? I was down in New Orleans. I go to New Orleans a lot because my wife is from there. And I was down there maybe 6 months ago or so. And they're like, you got to try this new beer we got down here. It's great. It's called Yuengling, and I'm like, oh, Yuengling. Yeah.
Yuengling.
Yeah. So they have it down there, but they don't know how to pronounce it yet. But
They'll figure it out, just like anything, like a crawdad or a gumbo or a jambalaya. They'll figure it out.
right.
Just give them one of those really tall drinks that you could put a straw in, and they'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Like a hurricane. Okay.
all right. Now that we've formally met each other, let's all talk about what the hell's going on, because right now it's a global quote unquote pandemic. I'm using that term loosely because we have a lot of cases that are still going unchecked, and because there's not a lot of tests available to people, and it's just hard to get the test. And apparently, from what I've read, some of the people who are making the test are Jared Kushner company. And so, Gary, I'm going to try. But and that's just a whole conspiracy theory that I don't want to go down. It's just something that I read, and you can make your own assumptions and read about it more. But something that I did read, which is a sign for good news, is that there's an Israeli biochemist who says that the numbers are starting to turn in China, which is good, and things are starting to get better in China, which is good, which means that the Chinese Super League might actually get started, and because they've been suspended for so long, and Nartovich wanted to leave, and he couldn't because he missed the deadline to leave. Sucks to suck sometimes.
So he's still there? Is that?
He's still stuck in China.
Wow. With his brother?
I don't know. I know it's his wife and kid. But then we go into but now we have the Premier League halted until April 3rd. Is that right?
Yeah, for now, yes.
For now, all rugby is halted until the 4th in the UK. All ice hockey's in England is halted until May 31st, which I think is interesting. Yeah, they just announced that last night. The NIHL one was supposed to play games this weekend. One canceled the night game, the other one canceled the day of, so that just didn't work. So there's this whole thing about what the hell to do. And the last time we've faced something like this was the Spanish flu of 1918, which lasted 1919 and 1920. The NHL. The Stanley Cup Finals was in Game 7, and the NHL just said, nope, we're canceling it, and that was the end of that.
Interesting.
Yes. Baseball lost a lot of games during that time period because of this. The World Series didn't suffer, but the players sure did suffer, and it didn't help that the war was going on, and the war helped to spread this, and it just wasn't really that good. And actually, Philly was one of the biggest epicenters of the Spanish flu.
Really?
Or not. The whole parade, they were sending the boys overseas, so there was a big parade, and against the public, the advice of public health officials, the mayor said, screw it, we're doing it anyway. So they had a huge parade, like 220,000 attended, and everyone got the Spanish flu.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was not a smart move by the mayor. So I give a lot of the mayors credit for just canceling like St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and whatnot. We may just have like in Futurama, a parade. Everything come together at once.
Do a parade for everything.
Yeah, but it brings up this, and because every major league, pretty much every league in the U.S. and most of them around the world, off the top of my head that I know of, Nicaragua is going on. Nigeria is going on, Somalia is going on, Hong Kong is going on, Singapore is going on. Russia was on this weekend, same with Liga MX in Mexico, but I don't know I know Russia met today. I don't know the outcome of that meeting, and Liga MX is being suspended. So we have to talk about what the hell to do, because the West Ham season is currently halted, and we don't know if it's going to come back. There's a meeting tomorrow between all the ownerships and the FA about what the fuck's going to happen. And the way I see it, several different possibilities. One, we come back, if all goes well and good, we come back April 3rd. And we try to make up the games as we go, and the season ends probably in early June, early to mid-June. That's the best case scenario right now. But do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
I think it's going to be a while.
Yeah. Well, but if you look at like something like the NBA is like said 30 days from when they suspended the season. Now more players are getting infected. Kevin Durant just got infected, and so it seems like every time someone gets infected, the counter starts again, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
And it should. And it should. At this point, they've got to cancel the whole damn thing. They have to. How can you maintain the integrity of a season when you can't guarantee which team's going to be more affected by the disease, by the call it an injury or whatever you want to call it? But the teams, there's certain teams. As soon as you get one, if these guys are training together, you're more likely to get more. It's going to affect different teams in different ways and probably impact those that get 1 or 2 players here and there. That will turn into full-blown 10 players, 11 players, 12 players. They're in such close quarters with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You could see, knowing our luck, we'd be down to the youth team. You know what I mean? That's what it's going to do. So if you cannot maintain the integrity of the season, the fairness of the competition, I think you've got to cancel it.
Okay, so let's pretend for a second they cancel it. The premier, so cancel it as is. What happens to the teams in the top 2 and the bottom that were supposed to that were going to come up? So I know Leeds is one of them.
Yeah, Leeds and West Bromwich Albion. Yeah.
So, do they automatically come up? Do they sit down? Do they stay down? Because Leeds has been working their butt off with Marcelo Bielsa, excuse me, for the past 2 years to get them promoted. And last year they had a shot and they blew it. And so do they come up and we play with 22 like it's the old first division again? Or do they stay down? And because it's a huge, they only get £6 million playing the championship, and it's over £100 million to play in the Premier League. So it's a huge loss financially for them just to stay down, and they would lose literally what they've been working so hard for. And then the teams that were supposed to be relegated, are they going to have to, are they going to stay up or what? Or is there going to be just a massive play? I can really go with screw it, we're going to go with this. And also,
my argument would be to bring those 2 up for sure. I mean, if you look at the championship table, I think there's an argument to be made. They're West Brom's in second. They're 6 points clear of Fulham in third. Everybody's played the same amount of games. If you look at the bottom of the Premiership, though, I believe one of the teams has played less games. Is it Villa? Perhaps they've played less games than everybody else. So I don't think you can do a swap 2 down, 2 up, but I do think you can do 2 up and then just play an extra few games the following season and have extra relegation.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I agree with that approach. And maybe because of the extra games, maybe drop the League Cup for the Premier League or something to have some extra space for those extra games. But yeah, I agree with you, John.
I would be in full favor of dropping the League Cup. I think it's a drain on Premier League teams and players, and it's just more games that they don't need. Imagine for a second you qualify for Europe, and you're in the group stages of Europe. You have the Premier League, you have the League Cup, you have the FA Cup, and now you have Europa League games. And Europa League games, you're going to be traveling all around Europe, going to these tiny, tiny towns that you've never even heard of in, I don't know, Bulgaria, Belarus, that you can't, even if you were to be given a map of the country and say, point out, I don't know, Ludogorets, for example. You can't even point out Ludogorets on a map. Can you put out
Astragugu, right? Astragugu.
Astragugu, what?
Well, that was when we were last in the Europa League.
Oh my God,
we got knocked out by Astra something or other, Romanian team. Yeah, last 2 times, yes.
Yeah, but so it's just one of those things that, when Ludogorets made the Champions League team in the group as Liverpool, they're playing their league field, which is it's over 200 miles from home, and it was the stadium's just downright empty, and it's just what the hell do you do? And the answer is you don't do much of anything. So it's problematic.
It is. Yep.
And to me, at least, if you just play these I know the head of the UEFA is asking the FA to get rid of the League Cup, and or at least for the Premier League, and I think that's a great idea, just to give these guys some extra rest, because they need these extra rest and extra days off, because you're just stretching players thin, and if you're running them and you're forcing them to play 30 plus games in the season, like even 30, even like a bunch of games in a short amount of time, you're destined for injuries and you're destined for overexhaustion. And mono is a contagious disease. If one player gets it, the whole team could get it.
Right.
And that would really suck.
Yeah.
To be forced to go to and start your U23.
Yeah. I think it would be also if they didn't scrap it but had the lower leagues play it, it would give them an opportunity to have a day out at Wembley or whatever for maybe some championships or Division I teams. And
so hang on, if you win the League Cup, you get a shot into UEFA qualifying, correct?
Yeah, you do get a European spot. So
okay,
that might be an issue.
Well, no, actually, I like it. It's kind of like when Birmingham City in 2011 made it, despite them going down, and it was just like one of those weird division team into the one of the top competitions in all of the world.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like, oh, okay, the second division team. They're going to play against, I don't know, the runner-up of the Romanian league. Ooh,
right,
that's a tough match. It's Romania. It's Romania. Yeah. If they find a potato that looks like their leader, they all think it's good. It's front page news.
Right.
Because that's Romania.
I know. Well, but the problem is, well, for us, it was the Romanian team that took us out of Europe.
Yeah,
two years in a row, which is something we'll never live down, I think.
No, I'm just literally naming random Eastern European nations.
Yeah, right. And there's plenty of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Kosovo. Yeah, that's random enough.
Okay, so it'd be interesting to have a lower level team, taking that last Europa League spot.
Actually, I would love to see a non-league team win it, and just throw a huge monkey wrench into the whole thing, and let a non-league side who probably plays in front of 2,600 people, and just says, "Hey, we can do this," and they can't even afford to fly out to God knows where.
Yeah, right. I agree.
That would be a huge problem for them. But the money they would receive would be astronomical. And they're like, wow, we can invest in infrastructure now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hell, imagine if Lincoln City made it over there. Made it to the FA Cup final when they did really well. So
that's right. I remember they were great that one year. Actually, I think 2 years they did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're climbing the ranks again, but still, this whole thing has put stopped everybody like a freight train hitting a brick wall. It's just boom, everything's exploding, and this leads us to because we're gonna find out later tomorrow in the U.S. as to what the hell is gonna happen, but.
The meeting is tomorrow. Is that
the meeting is tomorrow?
It's an FA meeting.
It's an FA meeting with all the Premier League owners, and they're going to discuss all the options. So the options currently are try to come back August 3rd. Sorry, not August, April 3rd, and try to get the season in, or even come back in mid-May, which is looking more and more likely. And Major League Baseball said they're hoping for a mid-May return, which I think would be fantastic at this point in time.
Yeah,
and just try to fit in as many games as possible before June 30th. June 30th being when the TV contracts run out, when the sponsorship contracts run out, and when player contracts run out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So because the next day is the opening of the transfer window. So that's just all craziness.
Yeah.
But then you have the option to completely cancel everything and hold it as is. And if you do, can you name Liverpool the champion?
I think you, as much as I would like to see them not be named the champions, I think you got to give it to them because they were clearly ahead, and they were, I think their points were, I forget how many points ahead they were, but they were within a game or two of locking it in. So I unfortunately I think they deserve it, and maybe we put an asterisk beside their name, but I think they should be champs.
So so you said put an asterisk by their name, kind of like Marseille in '93, even though they're really not there. Should it be?
What happened in '93? Okay.
There was a match fixing scandal involving a League Cup match in Marseille, and that led to Marseille going down. And it led to a whole bunch of things. I can tell you off air. It would make a great 30 for 30 documentary because they had one of the best teams in all of Europe in the 80s. And in '91, they were in the final against Red Star Belgrade and losing penalty kicks. It was a beautiful match, but they lost to fucking Red Star Belgrade.
Oh, wow. And
then they come back 2 years later, and one of the best players are playing against them on AC Milan, and they win it in Munich from a beautiful Abdeli Pele, Andre Ayew's father, free kick to Bozil, header in the 41st minute, and was the only goal of the match. 3 days later, they're playing against PSG. She scores a rocket from outside the box, and it's a much better goal. Just look that up, and it's just, holy shit, the Velodrome just goes fucking batshit crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, if you ever want to get into French football, contact me. I can tell you a lot.
Yeah, you're a fount of knowledge, Zach. I'm really impressed.
I know way too much about way random things, but that's me. That's life.
Do they still play in the Velodrome? Is that
yes? So it's called a Velodrome because initially when it was built, there was an actual track around it. They got rid of the track shortly after being built because too many people ran on the field that way.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be tricky to have a football pitch inside a velodrome, I would think.
They made it work somehow, and they made it work for afterwards. But it's one of the best stadiums in all of Europe. If you ever get a chance to go, I would recommend all of you go, especially on a European night. It's just a beautiful sight to see, and it's just. But we need to get back to coronavirus, and as I'm seeing here, the Department of Education suggests shut down of schools. Seeing the cancel exam.
Yeah.
The U.S. Most schools. Hang on, how do I hide that? There we go. Most schools have canceled classes, like in-person physical classes, and all have gone online. And graduation ceremonies have been canceled or postponed. And the memes of that are just hilarious. People just walking across a virtual stage. That way, no one can mess up your name.
You're right. Very true.
They messed up my name 3 times, and I'm still pissed off at Hofstra for that. But so like all in-person classes are like being canceled, even at the elementary school level. I have a friend of mine in Fort Wayne, Indiana. She's a single mother, and her daughter is in preschool. Is in nursery school. Yeah, young daughter, and it's just kind of like, what the hell do you do? And you can't do much of anything because like. And I'm just like giving her resources to try to help her, but she can't work. Her job's closed down, and it's just like there's not much to do, and so it's a problematic time. John, welcome back, but it's
stay all on this last.
He brought the baby. All right, Nora.
But but New York City public schools, they just shut down this week, much later than most other places. My local county, our school system got shut down. Also, we're supposed to be on spring break, so it got shut down a lot earlier. University of Delaware shut down the last Wednesday, actually, and they're on spring break, and now they have to evacuate. Everyone has to leave by the 22nd.
Wow.
So, yeah, in Hofstra, my alma mater, we had a scare. It turned out to be negative. But we had a scare 2 weeks ago, so everyone got a week off before spring break, and so a lot of people left and went home. Now they're forcing everyone to come back and move their stuff out.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, I live in California. I can't get my stuff out. I'm like, well, there's U-Haul. U-Haul's an option. And it's a problematic time for everyone because we don't know what to do. So that leads me to this question. Because this hasn't happened since this, and this may never happen again, but let's pretend it does. We don't have a plan in place, and the planning that's been going on now by our leaders is pitiful. Trump's just released over $1 billion in stimulus into the economy, and most Americans are going to see $1,000 to $2,000 in the mail. The European Central Bank just offered $750 billion euros in stimulus spending. I don't know how much everyone's going to get, but it's going to be something. But we don't have a in case of emergency break here button, and we need one. So if this happens again, how do we go about this? Because I think one of the things they're going to talk about in the meeting tomorrow is what's going to happen and how do we move forward. And if this happens again, what do we do? So, guys, what do we do? Pretend you're the head of the FA. You're Prince William, which he's the technical head of the FA, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, I have no idea how he got that role, but if it does go to hell again, what do we do, Wally?
Well, so my question would be, what happened? When the World Wars, I guess they canceled leagues for several years at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, every place was pretty much being bombed, and where else could you play? On the street? Yeah, no.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think this is quite at the level of a world war, but it's certainly something, or people are taking it fairly large and don't want to, congregate or whatever. So I guess, they need to, have a plan, but this, came on fairly suddenly, or at least the level of hysteria or whatever that made people cancel things, and that came on fairly suddenly. So, I don't know if it, the kind of plan they would have to have in place is, if we cancel, we just cancel or something like that. So I'm not sure. I mean, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
So my thought is that that if there's something like this happens again, let's say in hypothetically, I don't know, 2057. But the way that I would do it is I would pause the season as is and give a definitive end date as to when the season needs to end by. And whether that be June 30th or July 15th as at the latest, that's when the season needs to end. And if games cannot be played by that point, then they need to end the season there. And results would hold and things would happen. But this is something that needs to be voted on by the ownership and needs to be reassessed every couple of years, because every couple of years you get new ownership coming in and new ownership going out. Mm-hmm. And whether that be through sales or promotion or relegation, we don't know. But it's one of those, it's a problem. And the fact that no league has an in case of emergency hit here button, it's problematic to me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, I don't think they do. And but like you say, this only happens like once every 100 years.
Yeah.
But I like your thoughts of having a hard deadline because we don't know when it could start up again. So I like the idea of saying, okay, if we can't start it up by, whatever date, then it gets scrapped. But at least it gives people hope that, it may come back.
Yeah, and people need hope. People need something that people are happy with, good with, and to lift people's spirits up. I was on Twitter earlier today, and there's a couple of apartment complexes in Italy, and someone was blasting War Pigs by Black Sabbath, and everyone was singing it. And I'm like, yes, we need more of this.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I think I saw that too.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, I know Ozzy's going through rehab in Switzerland for his Parkinson's. I wish him all the very best. I think everyone here at American Hammers does, because I was lucky enough to see him 3 times live.
Nice.
I really want to see him a 4th time. Yeah, he was supposed to be at Summerfest in Milwaukee, and I was going to go, and it was going to be a hell of a lineup, but but the whole Parkinson's thing just made everything just go to shit. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. So has he had it for a while, or?
Well, no. So he was just diagnosed this year, and it was touch and go for a while, and so now he was just kind of like, yeah, I need to go through 6 months of rehab. He had a whole tour for the summer, but it's problematic.
Because I think they have some good new, treatments for that.
They do, yeah. And so by him going to Switzerland, because he can afford to go to Switzerland for treatment, it's still something that is a problem.
Yeah.
and it's something that hopefully in my generation or even the generation below me, is that Gen Z?
What are you, a millennial? Or?
Yeah, I'm a millennial.
I'm a boomer.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, okay, boomer. I love that.
But if we can get something to go on that work, like, but it's like, but then again, if we can find something that can be done and can be agreed upon by everyone, at least by a super majority here, by the owners as to what to do, I think that would be our best move for going forward. And I agree with Neil from Down Under. There's no way we're coming down under this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Neil, you're right. I'm sorry, but unless this whole thing goes away, and I know the A-League is still going on as of right now with no fans, and the AFL, it's supposed to get started on Friday. I don't know if that's still happening or not, but that was the plan. It's going to be a problem, and if they can go forward with no fans, great. But at the same time, all this preseason tour stuff is just over. And let's pretend we do get the season done by June 15th at the latest. Guys are going to need time off. They're going to need to rest because it's going to be a full sprint, and then we go into July, and then we're going to need a training camp to warm everyone up, take some couple games going, and then it's going to be back into August, and we're back to the season at the start of August, and it's just like, crap, where did the time go? Oh, wait, you got sucked because of the stupid coronavirus. Thanks, China.
So have they definitely... Yeah. Have they gotten
7.5 years, and I can't speak it right.
Have they've definitely they've postponed the Euros, or is that going on 2021 perhaps? Is that
so yes, they have postponed it in 2021.
Okay.
Well, for 2021.
Okay.
So it's going to be
so they don't have to worry about squeezing the Euros in there anyway.
No, they do not. Thank God. They came to their senses, and it's gonna be a lot better. But still, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. Will they have a decision tomorrow after the meeting, or is it something they'll just discussing?
So it's something that they're discussing right now as to what to do. About going forward and how to do the season and the next season. And I think all leagues across the world are going to have this problem. The Bundesliga is, La Liga is, Ligue 1 in France, Serie A. Serie A is going to be hit the hardest by this because more and more teams are getting infected, and more players from teams are being infected. Like Declan Rice, he played a game with a Tottenham Hotspur player who tested positive and is in quarantine.
Declan Rice is? Oh wow!
Yeah, Rice did, and I was looking at it going, are you an idiot, Declan?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going out like this. You're the only place in Italy, I know, you can only go to two places in Italy. A grocery store and a pharmacy, and that's it.
Wow.
Nothing else is open. You can't order food. You have to know how to cook, and that's saying a lot. I know in America, for a lot of millennials, they don't know how to cook, me being one of them, and I would be screwed. I'd be baking a lot.
We still have takeout around here, so
yeah. So do we. They just legalized delivery alcohol, and in my county, I am thrilled by that.
You know what's that? They have closed the liquor stores in Pennsylvania, so I didn't anticipate that. So I stocked up on food, but I did not stock up on liquor.
We're not there yet, thank God, in Maryland. But it's still, it's like so. The NHL has said that. The NHL players came out that if, based on what's going on, they would want training camp in early July, season starts in late July, playoffs from August to September, draft and free agency in October, and then November the season begins again. And that's just a whirlwind, a couple of months, and they just go back in, and everyone's going to start, and everyone's going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
And by the end of the year, you can't be playing an 82 game hockey season going through that fast.
Right.
You just can't. It's the way that it's stretched out now in the NHL is you get random days off. Sometimes you get 4 or 5 days off without a game. You're just sitting there going, okay, what now? And you get some couple days, in those days off, you get a couple practices off. You get a rest, and you have a scheduled break in the season.
Right.
Which hockey players love that. They can it's like a bye week in the NFL. Guys go to Mexico. Guys go to Canada. Guys see their family. Guys go back to Europe sometimes.
But they're going to try and squeeze in the playoffs over the summer?
Yeah, over the summer.
Wow. Because that's a grueling.
Imagine the Stanley Cup being lifted in late August.
Oh, my God.
I can only imagine how bad the ice is going to be in July.
I know, like in Miami or something.
Oh, my God, the Panthers. Oh, no, Tampa even. Tampa, Jesus.
Yeah.
The ice is going to be literally skating. It's going to be like playing ice hockey in a pool in Australia. For all you Aussies, it's just going to be like, imagine, just underwater ice hockey. Brought to you by the NHL in the summer.
Yeah.
But this goes back to no one having an emergency press here now. If this goes wrong, plan. And it's something that needs to be talked about more. And I really hope that all leagues sit down when this, either now, because no one's going to have anything to do, and just teleconference it, or just when this is all done, we can meet people again. We're not in self-isolation, not quarantined. That they can sit down and talk about it and come up with ideas to move things forward, which I think would be a great idea. John, do you have anything to add about what's going to happen, like, and how they should go about for the future and have an emergency backup plan for this?
Yeah, this has been a bit of a rough night over here. I don't know how well this is working, but we'll give it a go anyway. I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, this seems to be the first time in at least a very long time since the war we've ever had to deal with something like this, and the uncertainty around it. Because nobody really knows how long it's going to last. People are talking about 18 months until the vaccine. So who knows, right? I mean, this could extend into multiple seasons. People talk about global warming, things of that nature, and the occurrences of things like this and diseases like this could only get more frequent. So you think with any company worth their salt these days needs to have that kind of business continuity planning, and these leagues are certainly nothing different.
No, it's
what the fuck is ESPN going to do if there's no sports? They'll go under.
Well, so right now ESPN is broadcasting a bunch of replay games. Like right now, it's a bunch of college basketball stuff from the past, like different older games they have. But it's going to be a lot of 30 for 30 stuff. The 30 for 30 about the Michael Jordan Bulls. That's being pushed up because it's done. They were just waiting on the right time to broadcast it when they didn't have much of anything going on. But now it's going to be like, okay, we're going to have all this time that we have dead air to fill. And to be quite honest, because there are some leagues going on around the world, I would die and be very happy if ESPN bought the rights to some of these leagues and just broadcasted them in their native language. Because I know Nigeria, they speak English, but in some of these other leagues like Hong Kong and Singapore, I'm pretty sure it's Singaporean. Is that the language? But I don't know. And Chinese, but just go with it. And don't let anyone say otherwise, or you have somebody who can speak the native language do play-by-play. And I think that would be great, because if you look at the early days of ESPN here in the States, ESPN broadcasted anything that they could. If you
I know, it's great.
Dirt car racing, they did it from the 80s. Australian rules football,
yeah, that was my favorite.
Yep. And a whole bunch of older Americans know Australian rules football because ESPN broadcasted it, and it was like, wow, this is cool. How indoor soccer was a thing. That was big in the 80s. Kids, look that up.
Yeah,
it was. Oh my God, it was great. Just look up old Baltimore Blast stuff from the 80s. They came out in this really cool spaceship-looking thing that came down the rafters at the old Baltimore Arena. It's just really, really cool and just out of this world. For the 80s, it was amazing.
Well, there's a reason they're not doing it anymore, though, right?
Well, I'm not going to talk about the downfalls of the Baltimore Blast and Baltimore City politics, but that's a whole nother sidebar that I don't want to get into.
Oh, no, I mean ESPN and these kind of shows that you're talking about. I mean, who's going to watch the Singaporean League? I ain't. I
will, because it's live sports, and it's been over a week since, it's been a while for this hot dog championship. Yes, don't cancel that. I agree with you, Gary, but we may just be in glass cases. I'm in a phone booth with glass emotion. I know I messed that line up, and I don't care. I'm on for it. But so ESPN really needs to dig deep and go back to their roots for this, because if they start advertising live sports on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on every platform. Like, we have live sports. Yes, live sports. Remember that? It was amazing. It was fun. We have the Nigerian League at 10:30. It's blah, blah, blah. It's the blah, blah, blah. We can't point them out on a map, but it's live from Nigeria. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. I honestly think that you would get people who would be very interested in watching live sports. I'd be one of them.
I would watch it. Yeah, there's nothing on right now.
Yeah, and
Would you really?
Yes,
yeah,
I watched Australian
what
rules
you didn't
football
have?
back in the day.
You know what you didn't have back then that you have now, though? That's live gaming. I feel like that will become more prevalent where
That is
people
true.
play themselves.
Yeah,
okay, I will give you that. That is very true. But at the same time, Twitch has taken up the streams for most of that live stuff, and like the video game walkthroughs and players playing. I don't know, Overwatch League. Twitch has done a lot of that, but I think even the Overwatch League is canceling matches because of this. I don't even
Really?
play. Yeah, I don't even play Overwatch. I don't even know what the hell it is. But if you can get guys playing one-on-one in their homes against each other on like something like FIFA or NHL or Madden or NBA 2K or whatever, I think people would even watch that. And that is a great transition to the next topic.
all right.
Michael Antonio has challenged. Hang on, Ryan
Sessegnon?
Sessegnon?
Sessegnon, I think it's pronounced.
What a weird last name. You're from English, but that's a weird last name. Don't you agree?
I think he's French. I actually think he's French.
Well, it says on his Twitter page, professional footballer for Spurs official in England.
He was
Oh, okay.
Pre-Brexit.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're on this Friday at 8 p.m. London time, which I think is 3 o'clock Eastern or 2 o'clock.
We're only 4 hours difference right now.
Oh God! Now I need to take my socks off.
Yeah.
Hang on. Okay, it's sometime Eastern. Look it up on your own time.
Yeah.
I can't do math. I went to school for geography, not for math. They're playing it live on Twitch. Tottenham versus West Ham. And the loser has to give a full apology wearing the other team's shirt. And you know what? I applaud them. They're making the best of this situation at that they can. I think it was Leighton Orient that was doing a whole 92 team tournament on FIFA. No, sorry, Football Manager to get in, so they can get in. Just to play something, and some I think it was Bury officials said we have to withdraw due to sponsorship issues. And I'm like, what? This is an online tournament. You have literally they don't have their hands that deep in your pocket that you can't be like, oh, it's an online tournament, we don't care, we're not going to report on it either. You just take it. I'm not doing anything, we don't care. The Leighton Orient Invitational, thank you for Sheezy. But it was just great. And you know what? We need stuff like that to come more. We need more teams to play like tic-tac-toe with each other or Connect Four with each other just to pass the time, because this is what makes sports fun. And playing in sports are fun. And it's an escape from our daily lives. And without having that live sports in our daily lives, it's something that we can't look forward to being at or watching on TV, sitting down with a nice cold beer and putting our feet up at the end of a long work day and just being like, this is something to take my mind off everything. Now, the only thing we have is movies and television shows. And for a lot of people, that doesn't do it. Like for me, for example, it doesn't do it for me. I really don't watch a lot of acted out television. And I'm just whenever I do, I'm just kind of like, I don't get this. This is not what I want. And I'm like, this is pointless. Or even dramas. A friend of mine, she's really into 90 Day Fiance. I tried watching one episode. I'm like, I don't get this. I don't get this. Is it because it's drama-ish. It's just kind of keeping up with the Kardashians. I don't get this.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the whole reality thing has taken over. I mean, my wife watches the History Channel, but it's not history. It's aliens and
aliens.
Yeah, exactly, aliens. And they play. They're digging up some island up in Canada, Oak Island, the Curse of Oak Island. it's all like
Well-
reality stuff. So
Also, what's even funnier is that Big Brother in Germany is being filmed right now, and they have no access to the outside world, nor what's going on. So they don't know anything.
nice, lucky for them.
Well, it's kind of like who was it? Jared Leto, who went out into the desert for a 12-day oasis, comes back and is like, the world is completely different. First off, why do you need to go on a 12-day oasis? Just admit you were high on something. I mean, I don't get that. You're at a 12-day oasis. John, do you get that? Going out in the desert for 12 plus days?
I have no idea, but it sounds like quite a vacation compared to watching the news 24 hours in a minute.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. See, this is why I've completely, like, the only time I'm watching the news is at 6 o'clock when I'm eating dinner, waiting for Jeopardy to come on to take me away from this, because it's just kind of like I'm sick of hearing about all these dead people. All I care about is things getting back to normal. I want to go back to concerts. I was supposed to be at the Billie Eilish show at Capital One Arena in DC.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, my friends, co-workers, daughter's 10, loves Billie Eilish. She actually wrote to Billie Eilish and got a signed photo back.
I thought you said Billy Idol.
Oh, no. Billie Eilish.
I'm a boomer. Yeah.
Although, hang on, I have seen Billy Idol. I saw him at the. He was at the whatchamacallit, the 2015 Winter Classic in DC. He would look terrible. He had no idea what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, I believe it. Yep.
But it still was great to see him come out and at least try something. But I was supposed to be there. I mean, if you win 5 Grammys, even though the Grammys aren't a real award, just winning 5 awards from the same award show is kind of impressive, if you ask me. It's just,
absolutely.
Yeah. And so I really wanted to see what she was all about, what this whole crowd was really all about, because she's 18 and she's only going to get more and more under the microscope until she turns 27. And then it's going to be very under the microscope. Just look at Post Malone. God. But now with this lockdown, I can't even go see her or her coworker or even her daughter. I'm just kind of like, I'm stuck here at home with my parents, and I'm like, so what I've decided to do is go on a road trip to nowhere. Just get in my car. Get in my car because I'm parked in the garage of my house. Just get in my car and drive somewhere and take video of an empty town and just drive home.
Nice.
I'm breaking no laws. I'm not breaking quarantine.
Right.
So
just don't get in close to anybody.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not going to get close to anyone. It's like anyone asks what I'm doing. I'm on a road trip to nowhere. No one's going to catch. No one. What law am I breaking? None. I'm in my car.
Right.
So, Wally, were you sad they canceled the Fan Fest in Philly?
Oh yeah, I was looking forward to that. I think that was going to be a lot of fun.
It was going to. Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
And just to cancel that, it's just kind of like, ugh.
But you know what? I think we'll be the first one. You know, whenever they restart a season or whatever, we'll be the next Fan Fest. So at least we'll get a Fan Fest anyway. We may have to wait 9 months or something.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. But even when they were in DC, West Ham unfortunately had a 7 a.m. match against Man U that day, which we won, and that was the match that Yarmolenko got injured. But still, I'm just kind of like, I can't get up at 4 a.m. to get down to DC. I'm too far out on the suburbs. I can't do that. Metro doesn't open then.
Oh. Yeah, this one was the game was going to be at 10 o'clock against Chelsea, and it was going to be the only game because it was on a Sunday. So they had I think it was the one of the big games was 2 hours later, but that would have been there wouldn't have been that many fans coming from other teams. So I think we would have gotten in and gotten right up front or whatever. So it was setting up to be a really good time, and people were coming into town, and I was looking forward to it. Yeah,
and it like everyone that I talked to that went to the DC one or any of them after, it's like they're a bunch of fun. You get to meet a bunch of people in the area, meet a whole new bunch of fan groups, and just enjoy yourselves.
Yep.
And they serve alcohol that early, so everyone was just like, "This works for me."
Yep.
My biggest complaint though is that they did it in DC where they did it. They did not use RFK Stadium. RFK Stadium is currently sitting empty. They're just letting it become decrepit, and I'm like, this would be great for a haunted house, or even hell, a haunted mansion or whatever. Just like go with it for Halloween.
Yeah.
Use the creepiness, people. But then again, this is DC government, and they have no common sense. Oh well.
Right. So I'm gonna have to figure out. You're saying the Mikal Antonio matchup is on Twitch? Is that?
It's on Twitch. Yeah.
So how do you watch that? Or
so you go.
I'm a boomer. You got to help me out. I'm a boomer. I don't know.
I'm right with you, Wally.
Okay, good.
So I think you need to go to twitch.com.
Okay.
Account and at 8:00 London time, it's going to be live, and you need to find out who's broadcasting it. Is it going to be Antonio? Is it going to be who's broadcasting it? But it should come up in live, and they're going to be live, and they're going to have probably going to have videos of both men as well as the game, and you can hear them talk back and forth as if you're on the couch with them.
So who picked Antonio? Was that the club?
No,
Jack Wilshere would have picked up a fucking wrist injury if he had played.
Well, he was supposed to, but he injured his wrist, I guess. Yeah.
In the dryer.
Yeah, in the dryer.
But it's just one of those things that it's. I think Antonio is the one who put out the challenge, to be quite honest, and that's why they picked Antonio. And I don't know if it's just going to be a one-time thing, how many minutes are going to be played, what ball are they going to use, what weather it's going to be used, or anything like that. And it's just, what the hell do you do? And there's not much.
How about we finish the season that way? Everybody picks their best FIFA player and play all the teams in the schedule and see who goes down.
Yeah.
Well, that would be great, but FIFA is a simulator and not a real thing, so there's more to be found out about that. But it's a step in the right direction. We're talking about how to fix the season. And that, I think, is probably the best. If we can't physically play on the field, I think playing online is the next best thing. And with that being said, with no live sports that we can legally watch here in the U.S., well, for the most part, the A-League's on Fox Sports, the Fox Sports networks, and then the AFL is again on the Fox Sports networks. And WWE is still going on right now in front of nobody in the Performance Center in Orlando. Which I give them credit. It's at least something. But then again, they're going back to all these pay-per-view matches that are like 30-plus minutes long to eat chunks of time up. And I'm like, you're killing me. I want to see live wrestling, not tape from pay-per-views. Although they're great matches, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see them anymore. I saw them once.
How about the XFL? Is that...
So that was canceled very late last week. They were the last league to go. Vince McMahon was holding out hope that they could at least play some games, but there was a vendor in Seattle that tested positive. Then a Seattle player tested positive. And so the last 3 teams Seattle's played were put on notice, and it became a problem. And at that point, Vince had no other choice but to say, all right, we're pulling the plug on the season right now, and we're coming back next year stronger, better, more ready for a full season. And
all right.
Let's go Defenders.
Defenders, oh.
The Eastern Conference champions of the XFL. Woo!
Nice. Awesome.
We owned the tiebreaker over Seattle for beating them last week.
Right.
But it's just... go ahead.
They just got to play, like 1 or 2 games? Or
no, they played 5. They played half season.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
They played a full half season before this.
Okay.
They were forced to shut down. And you know what? I give them a lot of credit. Because it's hard to get the whole bunch done, and they got more done than I think most people expected.
Yeah, I'm amazed. Yeah,
and they were definitely going a lot stronger than the AAF was, but that's a story for another podcast.
Yeah, all right.
But with that being said, and us needing to wrap up, I want you guys to give everyone at least something to watch in some degree, whether it be a TV show or a movie that you really enjoy. To give people some time, because we have nothing to do for a while, and we're going to be sitting on a butt. Charlie Boyce recommends the original version of The Firm on YouTube. If anyone needs bored and needs something to watch, So thank you, Charlie. I'm going to definitely look that up once I'm done with this and figure something out. But John, I'm going to go to you. What do you recommend for like a movie or a TV show or something to give people what to do?
Oof. Well, let's give you two. So we'll go back in time on both of them and have a little bit of nostalgia. And one will be based around St. Patrick's Day, which was just yesterday. So get yourselves into a show called Father Ted, which is 3 Irish priests that are stranded on an island off the coast of Ireland that's stuck about 40 years in the past. Just a hilarious comedy that's probably just as much a critique on the culture as it is the Catholic Church. And
so, hang on, did they go to the Isle of Wight?
What's that?
Did they go to the Isle of Wight? It's an island off the coast of Ireland.
Isle of Wight? That's off the coast of England.
Isle of Man. Sorry, I'm mixing things up in geography.
Also off the coast of England.
Yeah.
But I thought you said you were a geography student.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay, I am, but how many times do you need to know about the Isle of Man? I mean, honestly, it's like knowing about where Jersey cows are from and why Jersey's a thing.
Well, they've got a fantastic flag. But no, not to my knowledge that they go to the Isle of Wight or the Isle of Man. But yeah, that's a good one. And then if you want something, I wouldn't call it West Ham related, but old English, Cockney-ish kind of comedy, Only Fools and Horses is a British classic that has about 8 or 9 seasons.
What is it?
Only Fools and Horses. If you can find it, I think they have it on that BritBox thing, which is owned by the BBC, or your favorite illegal streaming service of choice. I'm sure you could find a few on there as well, but that is a classic.
I've just pulled it up. I've just favorited that, so I can look at that later. 7 seasons, good.
Yeah, and they're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
All right, Wally?
All right. Well, I love a good British comedy, so I have 2. I'm going to go with the IT Squad.
Oh, I love that show.
Which is a great show, hilarious comedy, and in fact, one of the shows they anticipated an apocalypse like we're having right now. So when the internet anyway, I won't spoil it, and then the other one is my all-time favorite. There's only a handful of episodes of this one, but it's the greatest British humor ever. Faulty Towers.
Oh,
so those are mine.
All right, and to answer for Sheety's question, Zach, what are you smoking? The correct answer is sausages. I had them for dinner tonight. They were quite good. But also, I'm really hot right now. I'm in sweatpants. I've been literally working on my room all day, cleaning it out. And there's a shit ton that I needed to clean out. Oh my God. I found stuff in there from like 5+ years ago that I didn't know that I still had. And I have more laundry to do than a mother with 6 children running around the house. So,
how about you? What are yours?
So for a movie, I'm going to go classic American. It's a mad, 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 mad world. It's a really long movie. It's so long it has an intermission, but it's really funny and it's just the quintessential chase movie. And it just goes around and around and around and just has so many different twists and turns. And then at the end, there's a big twist and turn. Then you go, I didn't see that coming. Holy shit. And it's just an amazing movie. It's an MGM classic. If you get a chance, find it. Go to Amazon, buy it on Amazon, rent it through Amazon, watch it. It's just one of my favorite all-time movies.
This
I
is
actually
from
saw
the
it.
60s, right? From the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
The Simpsons made a parody of it, actually. It's funny. The first time I ever saw that was on a school night. My mom had no idea it was as long as it was. And so we stayed up till like midnight watching it. I had to get up at 5 a.m. I was exhausted the next day, but worth it. Worth it. Actually, when I was at Hofstra, I was eating breakfast, flipping through channels, and it came on. And I had to leave right as the intermission came on. And I'm like, no! And I came to class all dejected. The teacher asked me why I was so dejected. And so I told them, they're just like, you actually know that movie? And you like that movie? It's like, yeah, it's a classic American movie. What more do you want from that movie? I'm like, it's beautiful.
Oh, the stars in it at the time, like Tony Curtis.
The stars were just incredible.
It was the all-stars, at the time.
What was? And then if I had to pick a second movie, it would be what was that movie? Oh, crap! Now I'm blanking. There was a movie that they pretty much go from like New York City all the way to Paris by car around the world. And there's a huge cake fight in Paris.
Is this the one with Peter? No. David Niven? Around the World in 80 Days?
No.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the title. Is it worth even recommending it?
Yeah, it is, because it's real. The cake scene alone is just.
Just tell him it's Cool Hand Luke and be done with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be stuck on Reddit all night trying to figure it out, but it's gonna kill me. Crap. But anyways, follow me on Twitter at WikiPuff88, and I'm just gonna let everyone know. Like, once I figure it out, I'm gonna go upstairs. Ask my parents. They're gonna tell me. I'm gonna be like, but The Cheap Detective. That's another good one. Another great middle century American comedy. One of my favorite. I use one of his calling cards on, like, whenever I pick up the phone. It's your nickel, kid. No one my age knows what that means. And because everyone has a cell phone, and they're like, I don't remember PayPal. I'm like, yeah, you do. Like, do I need to remind you of a nickel of when SpongeBob first came on?
You guys have really missed the trick here by not recommending that people go back and watch all the episode of American Hammers TV and catch up on.
I was just about to say that.
Shows
that's another great idea. That's actually a great idea if you're looking for like a podcast, you're cleaning something, you just want to, you want someone on the background. That's a great idea. That's what I've been doing because I work from home. I just have been pulling them all up, just going back and forth, just trying to pass the time that way. But for a TV show, besides Rowan and Morton's Laughing, because that's great.
Wow.
See young Richard Nixon.
Wow.
Yeah, I know I'm throwing way back to boomer age.
Yeah, that's, I was a little kid. In fact, I was so little, my parents wouldn't let me watch that show because it was too racy. So I never actually watched.
Compared to what's on TV now, it's just.
I know. It was nothing. Just some humor. And
no, it's Suck It To Me tonight.
Yeah.
Bunch. But if I'm gonna pick a modern TV show, it's got to be Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Start from the beginning. I know season one's a little bit of a drag, but it gets better and better and better, and really builds. And you can see how great it is. And if you don't want to watch like all of them, just watch the Halloween Heist or all the Doug Judy episodes. Those are great. Doug Judy, Jake Peralta, mashing together of heads is great. I'm really looking for tomorrow when Doug Judy comes back for his wedding. I'm just like, yes. Did not expect him to come back. I thought he was gone forever. But it's just a really great show, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. Actually, for my birthday, because Captain Holt is such a not a happy. Oh God, Zed from Police Academy. Now need to go watch all of them. Thank you for Sheezy. I was not expecting to get that tonight, but okay. I'm saving that. That's going on the record. But so Captain Holt's just like straight face, like, I've never been happier in my life, with a dead face. So there are cards out there you can buy them on Etsy. It's like, it's your birthday, I'm ecstatic. And right. Yeah, and with a solid Captain Holt face. I got that card for my birthday. I got that card for the person who gave me that card too. So when I got home, I put them together and said, we got each other pretty much the same card. I'm like, holy shit. And she couldn't believe it. She was just kind of like, I'm like, we know each other a little too well then.
Right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. So, I think, do you guys have anything else to say in this time?
No, I think, just go watch these things we've recommended, and that'll help pass the time.
Listen, spend some time with the people you love. You're never going to be around them as much as this. Hello.
Yeah.
Yep. If you're looking for anything to do, try to clean out a closet, try to clean out a room, try to find things to go through, and just find shit to get rid of, sell, donate to Goodwill, whatever you're looking for, like. And by the time this all is done, you may have a household and you may go, crap, I have a very clean house. And you may be like, let's have the end of the coronavirus party. Woo! Oh yeah, T-Boo recommends Closer with Natalie Portman, Clive Owen, Julia Roberts, Jude Law. I gotta have to look that one up. But it's Natalie Portman, so you really can't go wrong. And it's Natalie
worth
it. From 15 years ago. So that's always a good thing. That sells a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I really look forward to having the end of the coronavirus party and just popping in champagne bottles, and when we can all get out of our houses and our apartments and wherever we live, and just start yelling and screaming like a bunch of wild banshees, as if it was the day that Osama bin Laden was executed. Just remember how patriotic we all were, and how people flooded the streets screaming USA, USA, waving patriotic flags and things like that. But we need to do that, but for the end of coronavirus. And first off, we need a flag of the world. But we need to go, and this is over. This is over. This is over. We can resume life. Concerts are going to begin again. In dining is going to happen again. Sports are going to begin again. And we can start seeing friends and family again and just be like, this is great.
And we'll have some great stories to tell our kids and grandkids. You know?
Yeah, and when your kids come to you and go, can you tell me about the year 2000? Like, it all started when we almost went to war with Iran. Then the fires in Australia happened, and then then someone in China couldn't stop eating a bat. And you know what, Furshizi, if you can give me a better time when America came together than that, I mean, other than the tall ships for the American bicentennial, that really lifted our spirits during the Iran hostage situation. That moment speaks to my mind at so many levels, because I've never seen something like that. The only other time I've seen something like that was when they caught the Joker Tsarnaev in Boston, and how Boston just streamed out of the apartment screaming and going, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" And that was just one day. Well, it was a manhunt, but still, it was just like, you messed with the wrong town. Gonna mess with the town? Don't pick Boston.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Don't pick Philly. Don't pick New York. Don't pick DC. Pick something small like Topeka, Kansas. I guess, I don't know. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Smaller towns.
Right.
No, don't do that, because they're all very close. They all know each other. Don't do that. That's dumb. That's a dumber move.
Excellent.
And on that note, I think we got nothing more to talk about, sadly, but it's been fun.
Yeah. Nice to chat with you, Zach and John. Thanks for popping in and out as you could.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Hey, you have a young child. I completely get it. I was once that age too, and I once went through the same sort of hell with my parents. And I'm going to go through the same sort of thing when I'm a father in about 10 plus years.
Probably.
So
Beautiful.
It's all things to just look forward to dealing with, and realize that they're only this age once. And soon enough, they're going to be 13, asking you for money to go to the mall to buy something for a school dance. And you were
we'll see if there's an economy left after all this. But
yeah, we're gonna go back to bartering.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
Like, here, I have 10 boxes of toilet paper. I would like to buy one pig, please. I'm sorry, one pig is 15 boxes of toilet paper and 3 boxes of Lysol wipes. We're going back to bartering. It works in prisons. It can work for America.
Yep.
Oh, God. I don't believe. All right.
All right. Good.
And on that note, good night, everybody. It's
Good night.
fun.
Good night, guys.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons, indeed.